All right, big fella. It's a Wandering Wednesday.
Yeah.
What have you been wondering about?
I got one today for you guys. It's
Okay.
gonna blow your mind. Which is not really.
Buckle up.
Not really blow your mind. And this is actually kind of some free pub, just in case anybody's looking to buy some not ocean-bought property in Arizona.
Oceanfront property.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
So Josh sent me a thing online today of a MLS listing. It was I can't remember if it was realtor.com or homes or whatever.
Was it the one out in Montana?
Bozeman, Montana,
Yes.
to be exact.
For $72 million?
78.
Yeah.
$78,912,000 with an estimation of $425,000, $377 a month. I clicked on that son of a buck, and I'm going to tell you what, boys, if we could afford it, I would.
Most of those, when you're doing that, you're buying a working ranch. There's income off of it.
I would do that tomorrow.
How many acres is with it?
So this in particular here, it is where was it at here? This is 1,941 acres.
Oh, that's
Not very
small
much.
for out there,
Huh?
though.
That's not very much.
So it's 1,940 acres is what it's showing.
1,940.
Mhm.
Oh,
That's not much
worth it.
for out there.
1,940. But
That's Clay County, or maybe Du Bois County's close to that.
that borders like 900,000 acres of U.S. forest lands. Property.
See, that's why I don't want anything to do with that.
Okay.
Because
You
you
can
get
get
whack
pinned down.
jobs on your property all
No,
the time.
you get pinned down. The government wants to come get you. They just start pinning you in.
Well, that and David is got a point there. They were talking about they've talked about that on Meat Eater podcast quite a bit about the eminent domain and like line jumping and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, yeah, this one says located just minutes from the heart of Bozeman, Montana. Running Elk Ranch is the most notable Gallatin Valley. Maybe it's property that came on the market in recent history. Its unique local location, size of contiguous acreage, and quality of its substantial infrastructure rival virtually any property in its class. 72,000, encompassing 1,940 acres in one block with a 2.5 mile eastern border to over 72,000 acres of contiguous Gallatin National Forest land and west and south borders of nearly 900 acres of state land give this ranch a true back to the wall sense of privacy. Which I don't know what that, I mean, you say they could pin you in, but I think there's got road front and all this stuff. But anyway, I clicked on some of these photos and there's like a horse facility, main house, caretaker shop, gated main entrance, access gates, alpine cabins, 1,000-yard shooting range. Like there's all kinds of shit on this thing. But the thing that gets me the most is it's so like for the housing, like that's on there. They say, I can't remember. It's got like 3,553 square foot of like living space. I would assume that that's probably not all in one of them.
3,000 feet?
Yeah,
That's not that much.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So there doesn't appear to be like one big ass house. Like it just seems to be like.
So are we for sure somebody didn't like accidentally hit an extra number on this listing?
Absolutely not. It's Bozeman, Montana.
It just doesn't sound like it's worth $78 million.
Well, it is because the price per square foot is $22,210.
Because it's got one ainty little house. That's what I'm saying. That's
If you look at the housing market in Bozeman, Montana, guys, I mean, it is absolutely insane. Like that's what we're dealing with. I mean, it's
that's what they want you to see there. But Bozeman, Montana, the town,
is ritzy as shit now, according to the internet. and everything like that. Like it's like the housing market in Bozeman, Montana, I think is pretty wild.
Well, and it's well, I guess in summation, what was your wonder?
If we could afford it, we'll do that.
Yeah, we can't afford it.
Mm-hmm.
When Janelle and I were out there for our honeymoon, so that's been 9+ years, we stayed at the North Gate entrance of Yellowstone. So that's what is that town? It's right there. But anyways, there was a little breakfast spot, and we went in, we had breakfast one day before going into the park. And I asked the guys, like, hey, I said, hey, are you local? And he goes, yeah, as much as you can be. And I said, oh, okay. Like, why is that? And he said, well, the family lives down the road here, et cetera. Not too far, but, it's a good drive. I was like, oh, yeah. He's like, well, it's kind of embarrassing to be, I forget what, I think it was a she said, 20-something years old and still living at home.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, I was like, yeah, it's normal. Like, hell, I was living at home, practicing, opening my practice. The situation was a little bit different.
Yeah.
But she's like, you just can't afford to live anywhere out here. She said she goes, you graduate with a group of people from high school, and she said they're just gone.
Yeah.
They go elsewhere because they live this camper nomad lifestyle where they bounce around from place to place, but you can't afford
to
live.
RocketHomes.com. I don't know if that's a reputable site or not. Like I think I've heard of Rocket Homes before, but according to this, it says the reason that the housing market in Bozeman, Montana, is so high is obviously from out of state money. Like people go there.
Well, that's the gripe of
vacation houses. On average, they say the average home that is sold in Bozeman is $762,000. One bedrooms. This is July of 2024. A 1-bedroom house is $420K. 2 is $530. 3-bedroom house $678, and a 4-bedroom home you're looking at $993 million.
The problem is
$993,000.
The problem is that's like big fancy houses, but the whenever you have that, there's also a part of town that's going to be like the trailer park over there that's just the slums because all the local people can't afford to live anywhere.
Yeah.
And everything else runs down. So those don't ever hit the market because it was grandma's house, and then everybody lived in grandma's house, and grandma died, and then it was mom's house, and now she's keeling over. Now I live there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some of that
I don't think Bozeman's a fancy place. I think it's got a fancy part, but they're just killing the local heritage of it.
Well, but some of that comes from the growth of, and we've taken advantage of it. But like the Verbos and the Airbnbs and all these other things, because if you've got a little bit of cash, you got a little bit of capital. So let's say hurricane that went through like Mexico Beach a few years ago, decimated it. Mm-hmm. You talk to anybody, they'll tell you the best time to buy is the day after that's over. Yeah. Because people are willing to sell. And so what happens is I get together with my couple mil, you get your couple mil, you get your couple mil,
right?
And then we build a real estate company. And then next thing you know, we've bought 3 beachfront properties that we've rebuilt. Well, the price just gets jacked up. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. These companies, these businesses have diversified to where they said, we don't really want to own it to try to sell it one time when we can rent it out for let's say $5,000 a week,
right?
$4,500 a week. And even if you rent that out,
there's a prime property in Bozeman, Montana.
Yeah. And baby's got it all. But you know what I mean? If you're able to rent something out $5,000 a week for, 30, 40 weeks a year.
Yep.
$20,000 a month.
Why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? Like, and that's where these companies make money, because then that's just a steady stream, because it's people flock down there to do it.
I mean, people go there for the views. They go there for that big sky country and all that stuff. But I don't know. Like I guess I don't think I've ever seen. I don't go online and search out these monstrous ranches and all this shit, ever. But that was wild. $78 million for that.
Well, what'll happen is some asshole from Silicon Valley will buy it, never go to it, and then someday
build a casino.
Someday he'll turn around to sell it for $90 million, and then some other asshole from Silicon Valley will buy it, and then he'll say, "Oh, I made $12 million on it. It's a good investment." But there's enough small towns in and around that area where you could still,
Right.
to Dave's point, you could find something if you wanted to have something out there. But
that's the headquarters of First Light Camouflage. And it's also Meat Eaters. They've got a studio there with Steven Rennell and those guys. They got Shields, or not Shields. Oh, son of a buck. I can't think of it. There's a hiking boot company that's based out of Bozeman.
Rocky?
No. No. I thought the Rocky Mountains would be a lot more rocky than these. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. That was pretty flabbergasting.
Where would we put our studio headquarters? I mean, we love Smokers Lounge, but if we got to the level of, like, let's say the Meat Eater podcast, where would our recording studio headquarters be?
We'd have more than one, I would say.
Do they have more than one?
Yeah. Yeah, they record everywhere.
I mean, we don't need a lot of space. We could put up little yard barns,
yard sheds,
scatter them all over.
Yeah.
Then save the extra money to pay the neighbor to fly us around or something.
Yep. That would be bad bone right there. Bad to the bone.
Yeah. Probably need a helicopter pilot, though, not an airplane pilot.
Yeah.
That way we don't have to have a runway close. We can just park it in the yard.
Park
Be
in
a
the
big
front yard.
goddamn helicopter.
Why? They make them pretty big.
Why, he says.
I thought about it.
I'm
after
too
I
fat
said
to fly in that live flight, so I mean that goes to tell you. What do they call it? A Chinook. That's what we're gonna need.